KMES English Medium Junior College welcome its students for online lectures of psychology for standard 12. For the chapter is memory. For the topic what is memory, basic process in memory and stages of memory. Students, Chapter 8 Memory consists of following topics, that is introduction. What is memory? Second, 8.3 Measurements of memory, that is recall, recognition and relearning. Then 8.3 Some phenomena related to memory, that is flashback memory, tip of tongue phenomena. Then 8.4 Forgetting and cause, and 8.5 Memory improvement technique. What is memory? Memory is an ability by which information is encoded, stored and retrieved when needed. Secondly, it is the retention of information over time for the purpose of future action. According to Tilden, memory is the means by which we draw on our past experience in order to use that information in the present. Memory is the term given to the structure and process involved in the storage and retrieval of information. Basic processes in memory. Cognitive psychologists have elaborated on the three operations, that is encoding, storage and retrieval, each representing a stage in memory processing. This is based on the information processing approach. Encoding. Encoding is a process of acquiring information from our senses. The process of transforming the information received through our senses or sense organ into suitable symbol like picture, figure, words and memory. So, encoding refers to the process by which information is initially acquired and recorded in the form that is usable to us. Encoding means forming a memory code. Second stage is storage. The information acquired and encoded in is perceived over a period of time. The process of storage is essential for using that information in future. So, storage involves the retention of encoded material over a period of time, that is either for a few seconds or almost permanently. Coming to the third stage, that is retrieval. We can sometimes remember the poem which we have learned in the first or second standard, and we can recall it after our school days also. The process of recalling the stored information for the purpose of its actual use is known as retrieval. We tend to retrieve mobile number, name, etc. in our daily life. So, retrieval, it refers to the process of locating and recovering the information from storage so that it can be used correctly. Stages of memory. The environmental stimulus is received with the help of our sense organ, which is called sensory memory. When we pay attention to the sensations coming in, they are transformed to STM. If the information is not rehearsed in short-term memory, it is not retained. If it is rehearsed or appear frequently, then it is transferred to the long-term memory. When we encounter any problem, we bring the information from the long-term memory to short-term memory so that it is available to us for solving the problem. Sensory memory. Sensory memory is the shortest element of memory. It is the ability to retain impressions of sensory information after the original stimulus has ended. Sensory memory retains information received through the five senses of sight, hearing, smell, taste and touch for a brief period of time. So, sensory memory, in it, each sense organ, that is eye, ear, etc., acquire information and passes it to the brain. However, the sensory channel also retains this information for a very brief period in its original form. Coming to the next, that is short-term memory. We are constantly bombarded with sensory input. However, only if they are significant, they enter the short-term memory. To retain the information in short-term memory, maintaining rehearsal is required. Short-term memory hold the information between 50 to 30 seconds, and the capacity of short-term memory is about 7 minutes at a time. The magical number 7 plus or minus 2 provides the evidence for the limited capacity of short-term memory. Most adults can store between 5 and 9 items in short-term memory. This idea was put forward by Miller in 1956 and called a magic number 7. So, short-term memory has retained information for a limited amount. Short-term memory retains a limited amount of information for a brief period, actually for 20 to 30 seconds. It receives information from sensory memory. Encoding in short-term memory takes place even if the stimuli are visual. According to Miller, short-term memory has a capacity of 7 plus 2 items. Working memory. Blader called short-term memory as a working bank of memory because according to him, short-term memory is the most important stage of our memory, which is used most of the time for solving problems. Working memory term was coined by Miller and Pribram around 1960. It was formerly known as short-term store. Short-term memory is also known as primary memory, immediate memory, operant memory, provisional memory. The working model was given by Bradley to explain it. This model is central executive. Central executive is a supervisor responsible for the coordination of the subsystem and the selection of reasoning and storage strategies. It has phonological loop, episodic buffer, and visuospectral sketchpad. Phonological loop (PL) is responsible for verbal information. It has two subsystems, namely phonological store and articulatory loops. Phonological store. It is a passive component of phonological loop. It holds on verbal information. This information is forgotten if it is not rehearsed. Articulatory group. It involves rehearsing and refreshing the information, just like an inner voice. The second one, episodic buffer. It holds information that is not covered by all other slave systems. It is linked between working memory and long-term memory. Visuospectral sketchpad handle visual and spectral information. It is one of the two passive systems. It is responsible for storing speech-based information. It has two components, phonological memory store and articular subverbal rehearsal. Coming to the third system, that is long-term memory. Some items enter in the long-term memory after rehearsal. Elaborative rehearsal is making the information meaningful and connecting the same with the information that already exists in long-term memory. Once entered, the information is retained for more or less permanently. It is an organized system and a storehouse of encoded experience. The amount of information stored here is unlimited. There are different types of long-term memory. Explicit memory. Conscious memory of facts and events are called as explicit memory. It is also known as declarative memory. Episodic memory, semantic memory, automatic biographic memory, flashback memory are some of the declarative type of memory. Episodic memory is a memory of experience and specific events which we recall step by step when we can reconstruct the actual event. It is called the memory of autobiographical event with time, place and associated emotions. Semantic memory is the most structured records of fact, meaning, concepts and knowledge. Semantic memory has personal context. It includes vocabulary, mathematics rules, rules of logic, etc. The type of declarative memory is autobiographical memory. Autobiographical memory refers to episodic recollected from an individual's own life. One type of autobiographic memory is known as flashback memory, which is highly detailed, clear snapshot of mostly automatic events. Another type of memory, long-term memory, is implicit memory. It is also known as procedural memory. Procedural memory is the unconscious memory of skill and how we do things regarding the use of objects or movement of the body, such as typing, tying a shoelace, playing harmony, or riding a bicycle. These memories are developed through repetition and practice. So, long-term memory, it is of two types, that is explicit memory and implicit memory. Explicit memory is called as declarative memory and implicit memory as non-declarative memory. Explicit memory is of two types, episodic memory and semantic memory. So this was all about the introduction, what is memory.